And now we're going to do it for Strahd. Now we're going to do it for Strahd. Yeah, rename and plastic surgery. That's what happened. They assumed a new identity. They assumed a new identity. This needs. Really need to. I need to overlevel so that she's. Okay. Wait, is she in this formation? No, she's not. She will be later. That's right. This is the. This is the one that's going to take a while. This is the one I need to drop an epic for. That's right. Strahd just, I don't get any of my, I get 2 speed champions, and it's just not enough. So there goes my epic. Throw one of these. I'll just throw one of those down. I got plenty. I got plenty. I'm rich. No. Yeah, so I mean, with Necronis, it's really like, how badly do you want that extra time gate piece and Modron chest, or at least the Modron chest? Like, do you want to get that rolling? It is very difficult, you know. I mean, you only have to go past area 800. Like 825 is the area goal for a very long time, like through most of the content. And it might be that there's some of the it might be that some of these efficient patron variants are in the 825 range. So you know, and if your newer champions are decently geared, you might be able to pull it off. You might want to do like a test run, see how far you can go in like a free play for one of these efficient variants here in like Avernus, with just champions that qualify for Elminster. And if you can pass whatever the area goal is would then be like, just see how far you can go, and that'll give you an idea of whether you're ready to do Elminster stuff or not. He's definitely a thing. Yeah, I mean, the time gate piece isn't earth shaking. I think the Modron chest is still something you should consider. You know, 25% more Modron chests each week, which is what it is. Because normally you'd have 4 Modron chests a week, and then you get 5. That's 25% increase. That's a statistically significant increase over time, right? So don't think of it as just 1. Think of it as 25%. See what happens. Okay. So perks for Mert, did we up? No, we didn't upgrade. Time gate silver chest drops have a 2% chance of being doubled. Sure. Throw something there. Okay. We just did Vajra. Well, chest, I wanted that, but that was not giving us that. All right. Yeah, we didn't really get an increase there. That's too bad. We did buy the things this week. I don't think I'm going to go for Jaheira right now. I think what we're going to get is we're going to get Warden. I want any of these other things. Ruby Blindness is tempting. Use a potion of polish. What did I call it? 80% Centipede net for Spurt is tempting, but we want Fortune's Favor. That's what we want. 50% more for Jarlaxle. But we also want Siren Knight Warden. Let me look here. Let me champion search. Here, trying to use this more. Owned Champions. Owned. How many have I owned? Okay, slot 1, Esmeralda, we're getting the event. Slot 3, we're going to flex BBEG. Slot 6. Slot 11. I mean, we could flex Nova and Dungeon Master, but that requires us waiting 2 more weeks to do Split the Party 3. Whereas I could get Warden here and Krond here. Esmeralda and BBEG. Tomorrow, that would mean tomorrow we could split the party 3. I just need a little more currency on Strahd, which we're getting right now. Yeah, 13,000. We're getting 13,000 currency on Strahd. That would put us over what we need for Krond. Seems like, yeah, split the party. Why not? Not split the party. Seems like a good idea. But the downside is both Krond and Warden would have no gear and would be giant magnets for gear from Electrum chests. Which is not the greatest. Not the greatest. We're up to 4,000 gems. We need 5,000 for Zariel. We got 20 silvers. We just needed 20, right? Yes. Awesome. So I can open the one that's over 20. Here we go. Okay. And we got a natural gold chest drop. Okay. All right. So we got options. We got some options. Let's look at this. I don't know that if we pick up Krond, I don't know that I've ever used Krond on this account. I don't know that I'd really ever use him. Dungeon Master might actually come in handy, though. Occasion. I picked up Nova. Honestly, slot 11 is a wash because I feel like we've got a tank that I want in Dragon Bait, and then I wanted manual time gate Strongheart to go with the Duke. So with Duke and Will, Duke and Will. So I don't care so much about Nova or Dungeon Master from this event. I mean, they're fine. That would free us up to pick up Merylwen as a gold find champion. We'd still be getting BBG, and then we could shock up or shields for a shield option in 9. Having a shields is I like a shield as an option. Or we could Selice in 12 for the triple armor chunk removal. You know, like there's some cool functionality in some of these other champions. Whereas before I was just selecting based off split the party 3. But that totally frees us up. Cruising along. What do I do with this? It's on the docket today. So I've been we did Archduke's Blessing for Vajra. I've updated some guides. Oh, I gotta prep. That's what I'm like. Oh, I finished everything I was gonna do. No, I didn't. I gotta prep the event guides. God dang it, darn it. Right. Event champ template. Event template. Copy pasta template. And then I was doing some math. I found out we have 174 guides now in idle shaping subreddit. It's a lot. So how are they going to introduce this guy? What are they going to name this guy? I know that seems silly. Are they going to call him Alder? Or is it going to be Duke Ravengard? What name? How did you... It says Duke Ravengard Champion Spotlight, but it's probably Duke Ravengard. But then in the animated GIF it says Alder Ravengard. But in all the text it says Duke Ravengard. Dude, it's going to be Duke Ravengard. Okay. Peony, please. Peony, please. All right. Swear, why? You got to do this to me. Why are they going to do this to me? To Baldur's Gate. Right. Hey, MC. Yeah, well, what they use when they're talking about him is one thing. What they're using to reference him in the what's his name gonna be in Champion Search is a whole other thing. No, it's not the older. It's Alder. ULDER. DR, damage reduction. I don't know. I mean, he looks more like he's doing the damage instead of reducing the damage. But... Oh. He's got a lot of appearances. Yeah. So he's been. This is why he has no affiliation, I think. He was in the Baldur's Gate Descendant of Avernus campaign book, the Rise of Tiamat adventure module, Murder in Baldur's Gate adventure module, the Legends of Baldur's Gate, and Evil at Baldur's Gate 2 comics, and the Baldur's Gate 3 video game. He's been around. He's the thing. He's a thing in the things. Or we go with Duck Otter Raven Guard. He needs that skin. I don't know what glitch that would be. I don't know that it would be a glitch skin. Polymorph gone wrong. Duck Otter, or just Duke Otter Raven Guard, and it's a polymorph. They polymorphed him into an otter, into an anthropomorphic otter. And so, what ain't good with Will? Good with Will, Strongheart, calling out the really good stuff first, then melee champions, then champions with crit-based effects. That's a lot of things there might be good with. Does make sense that he's a high charisma fighter. He's a duke, right? You don't get elected. You don't get elected Grand Duke of Baldur's Gate without having some serious charisma. Hydrate. Lunch item? I ate lunch already. I don't. Okay, we're talking snacks? That's a thing. I don't have any snacks here. I have to go get them from the kitchen. And once the outbreak fires off, I'll run to the kitchen and get some sun chips. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Dessert item. Nope, I'm gonna go get a snack. I'll be all right. We're back with garden salsa sun chips, which are my favorite. Nice whole garden. The way to see what champions are going to be in the event. Sort of, yeah. If you go to achievements, come to Dragon Down. So we're going to have Binwin, we're going to have Korth, we're going to have Nova, Celise, Merylwyn, and BBEG. And then you just kind of have to know, like, we were told that the last two champions for the running, which is the running is a retired event. Shaka. Spicy. Shaka and the Dungeon Master are coming to Dragontown. And then we know we're getting Esmeralda and Duke Ravengard. Esmeralda slot 1, Duke Ravengard slot 8. Those are from the champion spotlights, like the blog posts. So you always look at just look at the achievements for the event, and then remember that, you know, there's two champions that are gonna be moved into that event from another one that's retired, right? So so the running got retired. We got this Founders Day. Yeah, Founders Day is the next one. And that'll be Deacon, Walnut, who we already have, Freely, who we already have, Sergeant Ox, Nahara, Strongheart, who we're gonna get. That's future. That'll be July. Founders Day is gonna be July. Not sure the other two. Not sure the other two. Okay, so I'm gonna put notes there. Nope, that's not. Any notes on those? Gear wise, we're looking at weapons. Marshal of the Flaming Hot Cheetos. Wait, no, that's not it. I really don't understand how his slot 5 is going to work. It buffs his ultimate attack damage. But his ultimate attack damage, his ultimate ability lights himself on fire for 20 seconds. Well, his shield and his armor or whatever. And that makes his attacks do 25 seconds of bud base damage. And then he also, any enemy that attacks, that makes a melee attack against the formation, takes 25 seconds of bud base damage. Is his ultimate really going to scale that? That's already so much. That's already more damage than any other ability in the game. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't understand. That makes him the best. That makes him the DPS of your party for 20 seconds. So I don't understand how he has an item that buffs that. Because that's not. Usually having an item that buffs your ultimate attack is because your ultimate attack is a damage dealing ultimate attack that has some kind of multiplier or some other type of, functional multiplier, and I don't. Are we hyped about Duke Ravenguard's ult? Yes! Remember, Karlach came out, and her damage reflect when she is at 100 stacks of rage is huge. It's 20 seconds. It means whenever an enemy hits her while she's at 100 stacks of rage, they're taking anywhere from 3 to 10 times the damage that your DPS would be doing to them, which is ridiculous, right? I mean, that already makes that the biggest damage in the party. Ravenguard's ultimate is bigger, but for a limited time, like only for 20 seconds. And it's on hit as well as the reflect. Doesn't Fire Breath just completely outclass all that? Sure. But what you're not thinking of is like the Fire Breath can only remove an armor segment once every 5 seconds. Whereas every trigger of this could remove an armor segment. So for 20 seconds, all of Duke Ravenguard's attacks are removing armor segments. And potentially. And any melee attack against the party is removing an armor segment. So way more functional, like for dealing with armored things. Even hit bait, any kind of segmented health thing, better. But really, armor stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot of damage. But yeah, I mean, this is what 60 seconds worth of bud, so 25 seconds is less than a fire breath potion. But good lord. But again, it's adding more armor removal functionality off a support when they ult. Like, it's not my fault you build your formations. No, I'm sorry, MC. I honestly, I don't really use Kent. So I can't say anything about how good Kent is or isn't. I just prefer Karlach, so. I prefer Karlach. But I just, again, if this item is right, if this slot 5 really actually buffs his ultimate attack damage and increases what is already a solid buff bud based thing, then the Duke's ultimate is better, will ultimately be better than fire breath potions, right? Potentially, if you put enough item levels into him. So if his main ability, Marshal the Flaming Fist, mops, which is the only thing that could mop, you know, you might be running him up to super high item levels, and so you might see suddenly his ultimate become the most destructive thing in the game. Esmeralda's ult, I'll have to look at it again. She always had this debuff based ultimate. I'll have to look at it. It was never. It was always problematic to figure out if it was going to be any good or not. Simply because they don't really tell you how many debuffs are on enemies. Those are fine. We'll get to that in a second. I got to review her. Got to review her guide and prep it based off her new stuff as well. So we'll do a contrast. We'll do a compare and contrast. I need to know what Dragon Down does. What's the Dragon Down step? God dang it. How dare you? BBG, tell me what, give me the 411. Let Sleeping Dragons Lie, that's the adventure. Okay. I needed the mission name. Okay. did need that. Dang. Open. Okay. I think the Duke's guide is mostly prepped. Yeah, we'll save the notes until tomorrow. I want to base those off what's actually going on with his upgrades. Let me open up Esmeralda's guide. I'm going to talk about Esmeralda d'Avenir. Year 4 champion. Year 4. Update notice. Full rework. $22.04? Nope, got those numbers backed up. Whoops. Alright. Esmeralda d'Avenir, the Vistana Monster Hunter. From the Curse of Strahd and the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft sourcebooks. Whatever. I want their rework champion spotlight, not their original. Compare. Compare and contrast. It's 24-hour deal. I didn't even look. So, let me pull up ultimate comparisons. Okay, hold on. What was today's 24-hour deal? I mean, why would I care about an Artemis skip? It's $5. I mean, whatever. Crit Feet works alongside Duke Ravengard. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's like asking somebody that has an Xbox, hey, did you see the PlayStation deals of the day? Like, why would they care? Why would they care? I don't know. Maybe you're in a different place with a different... I don't know. Is it on a different platform? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know why the prices are different, folks. I don't do that, so I don't handle that. Okay. Exchange rates? I don't know. Alright, Esmeralda's old ultimate. My Signal. Esmeralda reveals a magical sun dagger and launches it at the enemy with the most debuffs active. The dagger lands in the target and remains there as it begins to glow with a burst of radiant energy, creating a new debuff that lasts 10 seconds. It increases the damage done to the enemy by 50% for each active debuff on them, stacking multiplicatively. Reworked ultimate. Esmeralda reveals My Signal. Esmeralda reveals a magical sun dagger. She's basically going, on my signal. Launches the enemy with the highest health. So, changed. Health target instead of debuffs. And that way, I guess they're trying to target the boss on a boss level. The dagger lands in the target, dealing ultimate damage. which is new because it didn't do ultimate damage before. Okay, so there's going to be ultimate damage scaling. And then it remains there as it begins to glow with a burst of radiant energy, creating a new debuff that lasts 10 seconds. Same amount of duration. This debuff increases the damage done to an enemy by 25% for each stack of preparation currently active, stacking multiplicatively. So before it was counting debuffs on them at 50% multiplicatively stacking. Now it's preparation. Preparation is the number of debuffs on the screen. No. The number of debuffs that have been applied on that area. It isn't even on the screen because it just says every time a debuff is applied, you get a stack. You could kill off the enemies and just ramp it up to 100. But here's the thing. So you're going to get... Yeah. So the longer you're on an area, especially you're going to want... this is better for debuffs that fade over time and aren't sticky. This is a situation where you don't want sticky debuffs. Because, 100 stacks at 0.25. I did this math the other day, and it was ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. That's a 4 EO9 damage debuff. So it's an EO9 debuff on the ultimate if you have 100 stacks. If you have 100 stacks. This is the new version. But you need to wait, like you would. Can you survive to apply 100 stacks? I don't know. Right? You better hope so. If you do, 4.91 EO9 debuff. So the old one, we never really knew. It was a 1.5 multiplier because it was a 50% for each debuff. The problem was we had no way to know how many debuffs were on an enemy. But you used to try to figure out, like, okay, so Krull's got 3. Freely's got, like, Esmeralda applies 1. Freely had potentially 4. But you didn't know if they were all on, but if they were, that took you to 8. Or Kira would be 9. I don't know, let's throw another one in there and say 10. Obviously, not as big of a deal. That's like a 50. If you could get to 10, 57x multiplier. Yeah. So the 100 stacks is definitely doing more. Because it's based off just applying a number to an enemy. But you have to get 100 stacks. And that number resets when you change the areas. So you can't... Like, it's only really going to be functional on a boss area. Because you'll never be able to... You'll never really be able to stack it up on a trash mob area. I mean, you could stack her preparation stacks, but the second you hit the ultimate... That enemy's dead. That enemy's dead from the ultimate damage because it applies ultimate damage now. So yeah, it's a boss area ultimate. The boss area ultimate. The neat thing is I mean, that's potentially bud spiking on a boss, right? But you do need buffs that apply and then fade away. You absolutely they need to fade away. So Esmeralda marks an enemy and it sticks. Doesn't fade away. So she doesn't even help herself there. Yeah. So Krull isn't going to help. Freely would help. Or Kira isn't going to help.
Unless every time they attack and that would normally apply a debuff, it's going to count it. I don't know. I guess we're going to have to find that out, but I think a lot of buffs in the game just get applied and stay there and don't fall off. A lot of debuffs, excuse me. Well, so Maxi, we're not talking about. I guess I shouldn't have used the term sticky. Sticky is a term for if you remove the champion from the formation, the debuff sticks around. What I really need to meet, I guess we need a new term for you apply a buff to an enemy and that buff is just there until either the enemy dies or you remove the champion from the formation. So a non-timed debuff. You need people with non-timed debuffs. But Orkira is a non-timed debuff. She can apply stacks of a debuff up to 10. Now, but then that might get you 10 preparation stacks. But then they don't fade, do they? Don't they just stay? Don't they stay forever? Or are they timed? Hold on. Nope, it's just receiving more damage from all attacks. Although it does says reset the cooldown of all stacks. What cooldown? There's a cooldown of the damage. Does it count the damage per second as a debuff? Okay, so but it's every 15 seconds. So maybe Orkira continuing to attack will reset the cooldowns and counts as reapplying. Maybe that's what it's doing. It's counting a debuff for 15 seconds based off the dot that she places on them. That must be what's going on. Because to me, I just see it and I'm like, well, that just debuff's just there forever because it never goes away. So Orkira may help, but like Dinar won't. He just applies sticky debuffs, like non-timed debuffs, and so you got to find people whose buffs decay in some way or reapply a cooldown. That's what you need. Expiring debuff, yeah. Anyway. That's what I'm saying. If you don't have enough enemies, the debuffs won't go away. But if they're timing out, then it's fine. If every time she hits an enemy, it's resetting a cooldown of a debuff and thus reapplying it, then it would stack up. We'll find out tomorrow, right? When we finally throw Esmeralda in, you can throw Esmeralda in with an Orkira and see if it works. But yeah, her new setup is going to be quite a bit different. Stereo. So. 3D. Base attack looks like it's staying the same. Then the ultimate's going to change. I'll leave this for now because I want to see. I don't want to erase some of this information, so. I'll leave some. I will leave the rest of this in good. I'll reserve ability information. I will leave that. Gear, is there gear changing at all? Damage changing. Training montage. Devil's Playthings goes away. That becomes corporation. Threat tracking goes away. That becomes specializations. We have amounts there. Okay. Who said it? All those seem fine. Oh, Orkira's in seat 1. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I'm an idiot. No, I forget that stuff. I don't think about it when I'm trying to come up with, examples. I don't stop and think about what seat everybody is in. Oops. Anyway. Back from the Andbreak, yeah. So Orkira's in the same slot. I don't know. We'll find somebody that applies debuffs and fades. And fade. Test it out. Everyone's grease count as a debuff? I don't know. Here's how we know. This is why they did this. Roll. Debuff. Ownership, all. I don't see Corazon. So many debuffers in slot 1. Dinar's is sticky. Quartz. Oh, not sticky. His is sticky. Quartz, I don't think expires. I don't remember about Presto's. I think Talon's expires. I don't think Spurts expires. Oh wait, no, these don't count. We're looking at. Wait, are we? No, wait. No. Anyway, people have stuff. People have stuff. Well, it's not sticky. I'm non-expiring. All of Dinar's debuffs, I believe, are non-expiring debuffs. So that's what you got to figure out with this list: is who's got expiring debuffs and who's got non-expiring debuffs. Karna's a debuffer. Yeah, when he hits someone, he applies a debuff to them that makes them take more damage from him on subsequent hits, unless he's been changed. Yeah, Eldritch Strike. Enemies that Kron damage will take additional damage from his cantrip spells and subsequent attacks. That's a debuff. It's just a debuff for his own damage. Because he's the DPS. Why would he care about anybody else doing more damage? Oh, God, I didn't do that. All right. Esmeralda's achievement is switching from Master Tracker to You Are Adequately Prepared. Master Tracker used to count 1,000 active debuffs on enemies targeted by her ultimate, so basically using the ultimate over and over and over again. Now it's use Esmeralda's ultimate ability with a cumulative total of 2,500 active prep stacks. Similar thing. Honestly, larger number thing, but it makes more sense. You can run it up. You can run the number up faster now. So Esmeralda joins us from Liar's Night. And he's a Trickster's Delight champion. I'll work on it. More tomorrow. But I just remembered we can get Duke Ravenguard's achievement. Critical task. Score 10,000 critical hits. While Duke Ravenguard is in the formation. Which is great. I think those are prepped. As good as they're going to get right. As good as they're going to get right now. How are we doing? 370s. Almost 380. I'm going to get to 650. This is why I was like, this one gets epic. This one gets an epic speed and an epic fire breath. 4,700 gems. Remember, we need 5,000 for Zariel. We've got we have the 20 silvers we need. I'm just gonna make sure not to spend more than that. So we're good. Ready for Zariel. Ready for Zariel. Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm gonna look up Corazon here. Yeah, so the grease puddles apply a slow, and that's not considered. I guess what they're considering a debuff is a damage debuff. Feels like so the grease puddles are more of a crowd control effect. Now, the difference is his ultimate should be a debuff because it causes enemies that are standing in a flaming grease puddle to take double damage. But they clearly don't consider it a debuff because he's not tagged with the debuff tag. Right? He's not over here. He's not one of the champions listed here with a debuff. So yeah. No one need to hit anything to debuff. I mean, you'd have to, right? Oh wow, I don't have this. My guide for Nova is incomplete. She inspects enemies as soon as they spawn, increasing their damage taken. So she doesn't have to hit anything. So she doesn't have to hit anything. She just instantly applies a debuff. So she's not going to work for this Esmeralda thing. Unless, well, see, she has a crowd control effect where she applies a slow, and then slow to enemies that are slowed by that deal half damage to her. I don't know if that's considered a debuff. It feels like they're saying debuffs are damage things. Yeah. I don't know. I'm also not looking for it. I've got to go through and add the debuff. Well, let me just make notes for that. I had the debuff roll to all champions that they consider debuffers. That's not time consuming at all. Not at all. Where's my to update list? That's for the round 2 of event champion guide update, champion guide updates. We're not on that. We're not doing that yet. Ronda's debuffed and Darius should be debuffed. I don't know. I mean, don't. No, I agree. Practice makes perfect is a debuff. It's a self debuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. He doesn't have the debuff roll. So, yeah. I don't submit a ticket. Submit a ticket. Darius doesn't have the debuff. Here, I'll do it. I'll do it. Let me double check Kron real quick. Kron doesn't have any other debuffs, right? No, that's it. He's straightforward. Okay. I thought. All right. All right. I don't disagree, MC, but this isn't WoW, so I don't know how it's going to work. What you're going to have to do is throw Esmeralda in the party and see if when Nova attacks an enemy, the prep counter goes up. If it does, then it's counting the debuff, the damage debuff, like the reduced damage debuff as opposed to the increased damage taken debuff. I mean, I think anything that applies to an enemy that isn't crowd control is a debuff, right? Like if you're applying something that causes them to drop more gold, to take more damage, to not do as much damage. To me, all of those things are debuffs, but it's not my game, so I don't get to determine that. I don't get to determine that. There's a scale on that. That's what I'm saying. The Bard's Forge, I don't know. It isn't. I don't see Keelik listed, so I don't think they're counting gold, like dropping more gold as a debuff, which means I don't know that they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna do the whole, them reducing their damage as a debuff. I don't think they'll do that either. But I won't know until tomorrow. Right? Yeah, so Esmeralda's ultimate is neat. It doesn't seem to feed her own prep stacks on boss areas. It's really a boss area thing. She doesn't really seem to feed her own prep stacks on boss areas, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, maybe a lot of new debuff champions get added. Although I like your typo better, MC. Defuffer champions. Defuff. I guess that's the difference. That's the difference. So debuffs are the increased damage done to enemies, and defuffs do are the ones that increase gold drops and reduce damage. A defuffer. Sometimes typos are the best. Sometimes typos are the absolute best. Every time I try to type champion, it comes out Chapmian. Idle Chapmians. I've forgotten. I don't know why I hit P before M every time. We're almost to level 6 here on this core. Not that I care. I really don't. I really don't. Oh, trials. Join a campaign. There are none available. Last updated 1 hour ago. Refresh. Beep! Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. I think I want that Jarlaxle skin. I really wanted that Bruenor skin, but we're gonna throw in. Wait, they did Paulton for scale, so we're gonna do Makos for scales. Yeah. Doing a public group with Beep. Hey, Selam. Contract zone. Entry. I went to the right place. Nice. Nice. I like that. Why? Captions is saying the exact opposite. I said, I like that. And it said, I don't like that. Really? Really? Let's see if there's any more announcements about. I don't know. I don't think the Dungeon Scrollers is really pushing a lot of promotion for this D&D one shot. So it's up to us, folks. Hey, Infinite. Ooh. The new Monster Manual cover. I like it. It's got Minsk and Vajra. Interesting. Is that Boo going for the eyes? I can't tell. Can't tell. Search level that glance at cutscenes dialogue. It's in the settings. It's up here. Cinematic speed. Slide it all the way to instant, and you never see the dialogues. Missed that part of the stream. I am playing D&D over on the Dungeon Scrollers channel. Wednesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Specifically speaking, Dungeon Master Stephen Merlino is taking me and 3 others through a original adventure called The Affairs of Wizards for 10 episodes. 10 episodes. You can't, MC. You always have to have a black screen. That's Diana makes it go faster, but there's always got to be a black screen. The black screen is redrawing the background every time you change anything. Let me see if there's any more. Let me release some more pictures. Oh, that's right. I saw that. D&D has a Destiny 2 crossover. No. Guess there's a Yeah, and Dead by Daylight does as well. Yeah. Yeah, I saw the Dead by Daylight one. I forgot that there was also one for Destiny 2 coming out. And here's the alt cover for the Dungeon Master's Guide. Wait, no, that's the other thing. Hold on, sorry, that's the same thing again. That was the Destiny crossover. There's also a Dead by Daylight crossover for D&D right now. Or there's a new killer, Vecna. Imagine that. Are there other settings tips you can share to speed up gameplay? I mean, I skipped them. I skipped cinematics in free play, but I guess this would do the same thing anyway. I mean, I turn off this kind of stuff. Slow down stuff. I turn off a bunch of these, and merging the damage text, because that can potentially reduce some load on your computer. But nothing else really, I don't think. My character going to be a dwarf named Garward? No, it's Bandy. Bandy. We actually talked a lot about Bandy yesterday. Gave everybody some behind-the-scenes info on Bandy. Bandy's a dwarven finger waggler, which means he's a spellcaster. All of us, I guess, are starting at level 1. So I'm a level 1 dwarven wizard with 9 health and 10 AC. Talk about being Dead by Daylight. It's gonna be rough. We'll see what happens. I don't even know if this is, because it's only like 10 episodes is what we're doing. I don't know if we're gonna level up at any point. I have no idea what's coming, honestly. Well, I know the general premise of what's going on. But I have no idea if like we don't get anything other than your starting gear. Like we have no itemization other than just starter gear. Yeah, at least at the moment. I don't know if we're ever gonna have a level up moment. I mean, 10 episodes is 10 3-hour episodes may not be enough for if you're doing milestone XP to level up. I don't know. It depends on the dungeon master, right? So I have no idea what's coming in that regard. Hey, my Trials campaign has started. Beep, boop, and no, wait. Beep, Loki, Fluffy, Frieder, I don't know, Jones Bow. All right. Well, everybody. No, I guess I should burst all these. I mean, why not? How dare you? My light bounce just fell over. Didn't get an achievement for that, did I? Jerks. Shouldn't it have triggered? Oh, there we go. It did get it, it just didn't tell me that it did it. I'm up to 14. Oh, I did it last time. I'm up to 14. 50 buffs, 200. Okay. I guess I did some last time. You showed up and didn't immolate your team. Wow, you leveled up. Oh, that's So Bandy, I've played Bandy on 2 other occasions. Bandy was originally created for Bust My Lair, as run by Dungeon Master and author Keith Amon, to go with his new, Layers book that was coming out. And that was level 13. And I mean, spoiler, this was 2 years ago, so spoiler, a year and a half ago. As everybody left me behind, like 100 feet away from where it was going, I'm a dwarf, so I got like 25 movement speed. In combat, they decide to run inside this hag's house. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess if I want to be useful, I should probably open the door for them. And I cast Knock on the door. I don't remember how. I was within range of Knock, but I was a ways away from getting there. As the person who was like... Anyway. So I cast Knock on the door, and of course the door was trapped. But Knock doesn't care about that. Knock's just like, oh, it unlocks and opens the door. And so it set off an explosion at the door. And everybody had ridden up there on their mounts and hopped off. And all their mounts were in range. And it nuked everybody's mouth. And I was like, I'm helping. Because I had hopped off. Because that was the thing, is I had hopped off my mount when we got into combat. I knew when the combat was coming. I hopped off my mount, smacked it on the ass, like, get out of here, because I didn't want it to die. Everyone else just kept their mounts in combat. I'm like, that's a bad idea. And it was. It was a bad idea. Y'all should go back and watch that, though. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. You can catch all my D&D shenaniganry in that playlist, including the 2 times I played Bandy. So one was Bust My Lair, and the other was Infinities on the Go. That was a level, like, we were level 5 in that. So it was a lower level version of Bandy. And now I'm even lower at level 1. I gotta get into Bandy's. Bandy's just like, hi, I'm Bandy. Bandy's just he's got a projective voice, and he doesn't really understand the difference always about inside versus outside voice, and it isn't like there's a lot of emotion. He's just like, hey, are we gonna do this thing or what? Like, that's Bandy. All right, 60 areas away. 60 areas away. He can have that voice. You can have that voice. Just because he's considered a dwarven teenager. I mean, he's at the, like, dwarves are considered children until they're 50 years old. But so he's in the like he's like basically 17. If you think about it, if you think of 18 as human adulthood versus dwarven at 15, he's basically like 17 and a half or whatever. You would have already gone through puberty and have your adult voice at that point. So he is a teenager. He is not a child. Those are different. Those are different things. Despite your parents still thinking you're a child when you're 17, there's a difference. There's a marked difference between kids, tweens, and teens. Pull a Tommy boy. What did you do? That would have been great in the moment. Because honestly, that would have been fantastic. Because honestly, no one would have seen. Everyone was away, and everybody would have looking at the door, and I would have just cast knock, and no one would have seen it. And then it would have exploded, and I could have just been like, "What did you do?" I don't remember how I reacted. I don't think that was it. I don't think I was quite on the ball enough for that. I'd have to watch it again. It's been a little while. Yeah, no, I get it, MC, but I'm saying like there's a different. Regardless of how your parents view you, there is a different. There is a difference. Well, that's Nathless. That's a them problem, not a me problem. Right? That's something they have to get over, not something I have to get over. It's important to differentiate them problems and me problems. Yeah, so we're doing pretty good. Our damage is scaling fairly well. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense. If we were to drop him, it's not. Yeah. All the buffs are really going towards Hitch, which is fine. Am I a parent? No. That's why I said that's a them problem and not a me problem. But it's not necessarily healthy to treat your grown adult offspring as children. For them or for the parent. Especially if you like infantilize them, that's the worst. That's the worst. We have 5,000. We're over 5,000 gems. All right, so we got the gems we need for Zariel. And we have the silver chests we need. We just need the champions, which we'll have tomorrow. Oh, we can open 3. 3! Ha ha ha. Silver chest. Didn't get anything. Done. Don't think I'm. What am I at again? 46. I just need one champion. Just need one extra champion. So I think we get Warden. I think we get Warden. In fact, I'm going to do it. Siren Knight Warden. Yeah. We need to get some more coinage for Mert, but yeah, it'll work. Alright, so we just picked up Warden. He has no gear whatsoever. We're going to go change his skin. Siren Knight. I've always preferred that. I've always preferred that skin. Siren Knight Warden is basically Warden before he was corrupted. So it's OG Warden. I wish that had come with a feat for like lawful neutral or something. A good question. Actually want to ask them that on Dev Insights. Have a skin. And before we were corrupted, feet that makes them also neutral, corrupted event. Then back on the ground. I mean, I think that'd be a good idea. We'll see. Average damage is everything from E106 all the way to E120. Are you looking up here? Because we don't look up here. We just look down here. This is all we use. None of this doesn't matter. None of this matters. It's all a lie. Infinite. So I'm 2 weeks in. Unlock 6 characters: Karlach, Kumon, Briv, Gromma, Jem, Brother Yard. That's a lot. 6 familiars. Up to 20,000 gems. What do you recommend I go for next? You have 6 familiars. Do you have a you don't have a background party. 6 familiars is a lot. I would be buying chests. I would be buying gold chests. Or not, well, I would be buying chests. And here's how you determine what chests are your non-event champions, because you just listed off a bunch of event champions. Also, hold up. Tangent. Infinite. Go sign up for the newsletter and unlock Hitch. Give them a valid email address. That will be another champion for you. So then you'll have 7 champions that aren't your core champions. But, oh, you have Hitch and Dritz. Okay. Cool. What you want to do is look at those core and evergreen champions and see, are they in green or better gear? Like, do they all have at least green level gear? If they don't, then you start buying some silvers or opening silvers until they do get green or better, and then you go buy gold. So if they're above greens, you have whites and greens and a couple of blues. Okay, on specifically on the core and evergreens. If that's the case, you want to buy some silvers, but just a small amounts and open them until you get to green or better on all your core and evergreen. Once they're green or better, then you only buy gold chests from that point. And with 6 familiars, you're set for a while until you unlock a background party. Then you might want to start, at some point you want to pick up more after that. Okay, so we just did Strahd and we're good.